This is a picture I took of the paint sprayer hose on my Graco spray painter, the Magnum Pro X 17. Um, I noticed it after I got through painting the front trim on my house, and I was kind of rolling the hose up to put up the paint sprayer, and I felt that run through my fingers. So I decided I'd go ahead and take a closer look at it, and this is what happened to it. It looks to me like it just came off. I never checked the hose when I first bought the unit, and I just got out and used the paint sprayer twice, and this is what I found out on it. So since then, I've removed this hose. I bought two more 50-foot hoses just in case, and this is what the tear or the rip looks like in it. Okay, the next picture is a cross cut picture of the actual hose, what it looks like if you chopped it off and looked in the end of it. If you look at it, you can see there's the hose in the inside where the paint actually goes, and there's like a cotton weave sheath on it, and then there's the blue coating that's supposed to be outside protective coating. If you notice, that blue coating isn't all that thick, so this is what it looks like. It's not really much to it. Okay, with that said, you've seen the close-up pictures. Let's get into the video and see what I got to say there. I'm out here going through my paint sprayer, and the reason I'm doing that is I've already cleaned it from the last time I used it, but when I was rolling this paint sprayer line or hose, I felt something on it, so I want to check it out. I think maybe I might have a cut in it. So I'm just going to string this out a little bit, see if I can't find it. First, I'm going to take the gun off. Okay, going to need another wrench. All right, let's see if I can do it with this. Like I said, I'm going to take this hose off here because I think it's got a cut in it. I noticed when I was winding it up that it felt like it had something sharp on the hose, so I'm going to take it off and take a look at it. There it is. Yeah, watch all the stuff run out of it. Probably puddle white water all over my floor. Okay, that's off. Right, there's the gun. Now take this end off. Okay, there's that. Now I want to see if I can find the glitch in this hose. This is a brand new hose. I only used it one time. Well, that's a lie. I used it twice to paint with. This it? Yep, there it is. Right here. See that? That got hung up on something. Got nicked. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's right here. Right here. It cut that outside blue stuff off. So, rather than take a chance of squirting paint up my butt at 2,000 psi. I'm going to replace this hose. I bought 2 more hoses. Now what that got hung up on, I have no idea. I don't think that was hung up. That's not a cut or a slice. That looks like it's just a defect in the hose. See, I didn't check this thing. I didn't check it when I first bought it. I just took it out and used the darn thing. All right, well, I'll just roll it up and I don't know I'll deal with it later. Next thing I want to do is I want to get this gauge off of here. I want to take a look at it because I was always curious if it got paint up in there when you used it. No, it's clean. All right, well, that's off. Now I want to see if I can get this out of there. And I don't know how you do it. Okay. This is one of those easy operations. You just lift and pull it out. Right. Okay. And like you pull it up. All right. Oh, there it is. Okay. And lift that up. And I assume you. There you go. I assume you get this. There it is. All right. Okay, I want to take this off and put it in the house in a bucket, because it freezes. So I'm going to put this in a white paint bucket and put it inside. Okay? All right, now one thing else I want to talk about. Be right back. What I want to talk about, I found out it's a lot easier using this paint sprayer, this Graco Magnum Pro X17 True Airless Sprayer with a 5-gallon bucket. And the reason I say that, this right here is a siphon tube. Right here, it goes into the manifold. Now, see if I can get this on there where you can see it good. You put that in the paint bucket. See where it comes up to right here? Right there? That strainer? Well, from here down to there is how much paint you lose per 1-gallon bucket that you run through that paint sprayer. Why? Because this rock strainer is up off the bottom by about 2 inches. So you're losing this much paint, each can of 1-gallon paint that you use. And when you first fire this thing up and you prime it and you get the paint running through the hose down to the gun and out through the spray tip, you lose about that much paint just pumping the hose up. So in essence, what you're doing is you're losing about this much paint out of this gallon can, or each time you prime it. So in essence, you're only able to use this much paint out of each 1-gallon can. That's why it's better to use a 5-gallon bucket, because if you take the siphon hose up out of this to put it in a new can, you got to reprime it because the paint drips out of this and it gets air in it. You got to reprime it, because if you don't, then I found out if you're spraying it comes out in a stream because it's not primed. It's got air in it. So that's another problem you got. But you lose this much paint in the bottom of that can every time you use it. You can say, oh, well, I'll just take the other can and pour it in that one. Who wants to do that? Really? Who wants to mess with saying, oh, got to pour the other paint in this can? So you pour it back in there, you get this much, and you can use that much. But anyway, that's what I found out. The paint sprayer works great. I used it when I painted the trim on the front of the house. This oil-filled gauge works great. I dialed that sucker up to 2,000 PSI, and I had a .015 tip on it, and that's what I spray painted that trim of that house with. I didn't have to sit and mess with turning this stupid knob to try to adjust it. Put it on 2,000 PSI, primed the gun, primed the pump, and painted. Not one time did it spit paint or send out a stream of paint like it did when you used a 1 gallon bucket. And this was my fault because what I did, I was painting out of this bucket and had swapped buckets. So I took it up out of there and moved it over to the new one. Well, it drained this paint out of here, and I didn't know you had to reprime everything for the new bucket. Lesson learned. But just to recap, you lose this much down here because of the rock strainer on it, and you lose this much on it at least priming the hose going through the spray gun. So if I had to give somebody a tip, use a 5 gallon bucket of paint. You won't have that problem. But if you're just painting a couple of doors, it's stupid to buy 5 gallons. I'm not saying that, but just remember, if you're using a 1 gallon bucket, you're going to lose this much paint in the bottom of it because of this strainer right here. So, another thing, let me get the camera off the holder here. Let's take a walk out here a minute. Okay. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this part of the shed isn't painted, and the back isn't painted. Then you can see the front part of the shed, and this side is painted. Would you believe that took 2 gallons of paint to paint this and that? I didn't finish the back or the side, so it'd take me a total of 5 gallons of paint to paint that shed with an airless sprayer. Now, when I calculated it, I think it was like 375 square feet, and all I did is I just measured it from the middle all the way to the top up there, how tall that was by how long it is. I know that's not the way you do it because it's not square, but that's why I did it. And it came up to about 375 square feet. Well, according to the paint can, it's supposed to cover 400 square feet, but not with an airless sprayer. What I'm getting at here is the difference between using a roller and a brush and a paint sprayer. You use a lot more paint with a paint sprayer. This is 4 times as much as if I'd have used a roller or a brush. Now, the way I feel about it is, it was worth it. So when I get done painting the house, I come back out and paint that side and the back. But that's what I found out. You use a lot more paint if you're using a paint sprayer. You can figure at least double, okay? So anyway, the good point about it is it's a lot faster than using a brush or a roller. You get out here in 30 minutes, you can have a job done, and it'd take you, Christ, 3 hours to paint it by hand with a brush and a roller. Okay, so that's what I wanted to get done. I'm also testing out this camera again to see if it's still recording. And that's what I wanted to cover with you. That's little odds and ends. And a word of warning. When you get a new Graco paint sprayer, check that hose before you use it. Because the reason I'm saying that hose had to be damaged before I even used it. See, they sent it to you all coiled up, and it's got the little twist ties on it, and it's got a bad part in it, you can't see it. Well, I just put it in my room. That thing sat for about 9 months before I ever got around to using it, and I never stretched out the hose to check it. I just took them at their word that it was going to be good. The reason I'm saying that, there was nothing that hose could have got hung up on to cut that outer blue coating off of it. Nothing. Okay, well, that's it. It's a short video. There's no paint that gets up in this gauge. That worked great. I like that. It's easy to use. It's easy to take this pump out of this sprayer. I'm going to put that in a paint bucket and put it in the house so it don't freeze. And then I just bring it out and get ready to use it again and stick it back on the painter, the paint pump, engine, motor, unit, whatever. Okay, well, that's it. I'm going to put this stuff up and go in the house and relax.